Good day. This is Sci 384, Study Session 4. Scales of Measurement. Introduction. In conducting research in the behavioral sciences, there is need for the variables of interest to be measured. Fagbongbe, 1996, describes measurement as a process of assigning numbers to indicants of variables in order to clarify the concept of research problems. Objectives. At the end of this lecture, you should be able to 1. Explain the different scales of measurement used in behavioral sciences, and 2. Describe the use of the scales of measurement. Pre-test. Mention the scales of measurement used in behavioral sciences. Content. Types of scales of measurement. There are 4 types of scales of measurement that are commonly used in behavioral science research. These are nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scales. Each of these scales of measurement differs from the other in some specific ways. Nominal scales. Nominal scales have been described as the lowest or weakest form of measurement out of all the scales of measurement. They are distinguished from others by the absence of numerical or quantitative property. Use of nominal scale requires that variables or observations be classified into groups or categories with labels, names or numbers, for identification purpose only. As observed by Fagbongbe, 1996, nominal scale is a type of measurement that consists of assigning object or variables to mutually exclusive categories such as high or medium or low, male or female, etc. Therefore, in assigning variables to different categories or groups, the researcher must ensure that there are no overlaps, making sure that those variables with identical properties all fall within the same group or category. This means that no variable must belong to more than one group or category, as doing otherwise would confuse the outcome of the study. The names, that is male or female for sex variables, or numerals 0, 1, 2, 3, etc., used in identifying categories in nominal scale have no meanings attached to them besides as a means of discriminating among categories. In the Faculty of the Social Sciences, University of Ibadan, for instance, we can categorize course of study as psychology 1, economics 2, geography 3, political science 4, and sociology 5. The fact that sociology is represented by 5 and psychology represented with 1 does not materially imply that sociology is superior to psychology. Other examples of variables in the nominal scaling form are political parties, religion, race, name of people, name of countries, different arms in a class in a secondary school, etc. Ordinal scales. Ordinal scales are slightly more advanced than nominal scales in some respects. The scale of measurement allows for ordering of categories or observations to be studied. That is, instead of having just categories that are simply different, as in a nominal scale, the categories can be ordered from first to the last. Hence, ordinal scale allows for discussion of greater than or less than without necessarily indicating the extent of differences observed. While numbers may be used in ordinal scales, the numbers are only meaningful to the extent that they enable us to order the categories. Thus, the numbers in ordinal scale do have some quantitative meanings, since they show the degree of importance or superiority of categories. An example where ordinal scaling is commonly used is in students' performance in terms of cumulative grade points. According to their overall individual scores, students could be ranked into first class, second class upper, second class lower, and so on. With ordinal scale, we know that the student with a first class performed better than one with a second class upper, and second class upper is better than second class lower, and so on. However, we cannot conclude that first class grade is 2 times better than second class lower, and so on. Another example of ordinal scale is the nomenclature used to identify university lecturers, starting from assistant lecturer, lecturer 2, lecturer 1, senior lecturer, reader, professor, which may be designated 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 respectively. The numbers have no meanings in themselves beside helping us rank lecturers into positions of superiority. Interval scale. This is the most widely used scale of measurement in the behavioral sciences. In an interval scale, the difference between the numbers on the scale is meaningful. This scale is more sophisticated than nominal and ordinal scales because it combines the qualities of both. The intervals between the numbers in an interval scale are equal in size. That is, the difference between 10 and 12 is exactly the same difference between 14 and 16. This means that numerically equal distances on interval scales represent equal distances in the property being measured. The household thermometer, for example, measures temperature on an interval scale. The difference in temperature between 20 degrees and 40 degrees is equal to the difference between 50 degrees and 70 degrees. However, there is no absolute zero on the scale that would indicate the absence of temperature. Thus, without an absolute 0 point on interval scales, it is not possible to form ratios of the numbers. Hence, one cannot infer that 40 degrees temperature is twice as cold as 20 degrees temperature. Also, we cannot say that a person with IQ score of 100 is twice as intelligent as another individual with score of 50. Generally, personality traits such as intelligence quotients, that is IQ, depression, self-esteem, extroversion, etc., are measured on the interval scale. Ratio scale. This is the most sophisticated of all measurement scales because it combines all the properties of the other scales such as the nominal, ordinal, and interval scales. This is in addition to having a true 0 point. The possession of a true 0 point confers the powers of multiplication and addition on the ratio scale. Thus, it is possible to have ratios and fractions when a variable is measured on the ratio scale. Therefore, a person who weighs 80 kilograms weighs twice as much as a person who weighs 40 kilograms. That is 2:1. A 30-year-old person is twice as young as a 60-year-old person. That is ratio 1:2. This implies that two individuals can be compared on a specific physical variable, that is weight, height, age, duration of response, response time on this scale. Ratio scales are more popular in the physical sciences than in the behavioral sciences, since they are rarely constructed in the behavioral sciences with absolute 0, that is complete absence. It should be noted, however, that the statistical tests for interval and ratio scales are the same. Summary. In this lecture, we have examined the different scales of measurement used in behavioral sciences and the use of the scales of measurement. We have come to the end of study session 4. Thanks for listening.